YouTube. Welcome back to another episode of The Daily Walk. this morning, this morning we have a lot on our mind, have a lot to think about. First and foremost, I want to say that, I dream and I imagine what it would be like to actually have like a studio, like professional equipment, a few other people, to, to keep the energy flowing. Yeah, so the daydreaming of a good studio, a good daily walk podcast kind of state of mind. But it, but at this moment, I wanted to think about career and children, family. For those of you who has a good career, an influential career, don't take it for granted because that career is, well, besides family, God and money, that career is the most important thing. It will always be the most important thing in my opinion, but it's just my opinion. And I believe the reason why I was beginning to look at the career the way I do now is because my children are pretty much grown. And looking back, I didn't have a whole lot to do with them as I was growing up. I was never around, only in spirit. But it's difficult. It's very difficult to co-parent in poverty. Very difficult to co-parent in poverty in different states and stuff like that. So that's a part of it. And my sons, they're about grown. My daughter, she'll be grown soon. Even though it'll take a few years, but it'll happen so fast. So I've been thinking about the future and what I want to be and the things I want to do in the future. Things that don't involve my children. Because as an adult, we have things we want to do. We have things that we don't want to involve family in, things we don't want to involve friends in, things we don't want to involve the community or church or children or all these things. These things, or career as far as that goes, we have things we want to do. And I guess I'm beginning to think that way because I'm beginning to accept the fact that being a parent, well, I mean, being a parent, it's never over for a parent. You be parenting throughout the duration of their lives, but on a real note, you know what I mean? On a real note, I believe raising children's over with. I believe, I believe a lot of things is over with for me. But it's given me a lot of, but it's not a bad thing, It's given me a lot of time to think about the future and how I can help change the world for the good. How I can be positive. How I can change not only the world but myself also. I guess this morning I was pretty sad this morning thinking about career and family and stuff. It's pretty much over with. But the future, is today. The future is now. I have Pangea, which I'm thinking about changing the name. I mentioned it before. It's an Operation or Project Pangea. Maybe Project Pangea, something like that. Maybe one day I can get a few people, you know, to advocate. I was thinking about that career. That career helps us fit in. That career gives us money. That career gives us purpose. Especially in my situation, you know. But sometimes it is good just to just be quiet, you know. Sometimes it is good just to think. The future, the future really is all we have, you know. There's still the garden, Pangea. Still trying to figure out how I can put Pangea in there as a cultivation, as a civic community. Wasn't a topic for today, just a simple walk. For those of you who see this and aren't aware, I'm 35, independent in mind, independent in aspiration, no career. I had kids, they're pretty much grown now. So I've discovered a large portion of time, free time, that needs to be utilized. Time that needs to be productive time. Made some changes. Finally launched a website, Pangea. And you know, the more I think about it, the less I like the name. And the less I like the logo. It's interesting. But I know one thing. Having a conversation with yourself is nowhere near as fun as having a conversation with a co-host or a neighbor or something, you know? For those of you who are into praying and listening to the prayer, or like to hear the word, I also pray sometimes. And if I can get my timing just right, the card will provide a link to my prayer playlist. I guess I'm going to try to do that every Sunday or something. Say a short prayer. Being thankful for the things I have, you know. Something simple. Or in the future, you need to think about a microphone, a good microphone. One of those sound canceling microphones. One of those, those microphones that prevents the distortion from the wind. So if you guys want to talk about family, children, education, all that stuff, join Pangea. Again, I'm thinking about changing the name. Join Pangea. I have a social group, and I have another group on Cosm. It's pretty much like an online platform, like Meet or Zoom or something, but it's kind of different. It has an agenda. We could talk about these things. We could talk about family, community. We can grow. We can work on. I'm thinking the 17th goal for the United Nations Sustainability Act. Apparently, it's encouraging positive community, encouraging positive development, pretty much giving people the chance to connect. If I'm not mistaken, but I'm going to do some more research so that I don't make myself look like a fool. But that's the idea: being as productive as possible, being productive as possible, being positive as possible, being helpful as possible. Stay positive.